All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. The men who taught me this truth, I would like to say shalom to you, Akim and Fuakwath, you men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. It's your brother Micah Allah, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Washai, Lord willing to edify. And the title of this lesson is simply, We Told You. We told you. And we're just gonna start off right here. And we got a little video queued up, but we just gonna start right here. This Ezekiel 3 and verse 17 says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. And that's what you're seeing taking place here in these last days. You are witnessing the prophets raising up again, giving the instructions to you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans on how to ultimately come into good graces of your power so that you may be delivered in these perilous times that we are currently living in. You see? And starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as their elders, we've been warning constantly through the Holy Spirit of the judgments and mainly that great famine that's slowly but surely brewing here in America, as well as the whole planet Earth. You see? Because not only is this famine going to affect America, it's going to also affect all these countries throughout the four corners of the earth. You see? And the only way you're going to be able to escape these times, the only way you're going to be able to eat, drink, is if Yahweh Shemal Washai is with you. Because it's only going to be through divine intervention that you're going to be able to sustain. You see? Because Esau is putting a squeeze on you people. He's drying up everything, hoarding everything to himself. Basically putting you people's backs against the wall. So eventually you will have no choice but to trust in Egypt and go down to Egypt for help. And that's going to lead you to that charagma. You see? That's going to lead you to taking that charagma because you people don't have the answers. All of you outside this council, you don't have the answers. You don't know what's going on. Even some of you that may know what's going on, you know, because you got certain Edomites out here that got bunkers, doomsday preppers, you know, you have certain people that know things, you know, Jake, you know, you got your survival guys. That's not going to save you in these times, man. And that's what you people fail to realize. But let's get into this article, and I got a video queued up. It's from CBSNews.com. It says Walmart, Target CEOs privately warned Trump tariffs could lead to empty shelves soon. You know? As we all know, these tariffs that, you know, this idiot Trump has placed, you know, upon China, that's, you know, basically disrupting or fucking up the supply chain. And that's really America shooting themselves in the foot, so to speak. And here it is, you Americans, you MAGA niggas, you know, you trusted in Trump. He shoved this in your face making all these empty promises like he was going to make America great again, bring everything back to the way it used to be when America was just beating ass and, you know, nobody was able to mess with him, so to speak. Well, the Lord, you know, has leveled out the playing fields. And now America has grown weak. And ultimately, it's a bigger, reason behind all these things that we're witnessing take place. Like, think not that China is not, on the same page with Trump or these elites, so to speak, because Trump is just, a low level, he's low level. He's nothing. But these elites, all these elites, they're all in on the same plan. And what's that plan? To establish that New World Order system, you see? And what's going to be at the forefront of that new system that they're trying to bring in, that CHIP, man. That's going to be the main, objective, and we're seeing the different we're basically seeing the build up to these things. It says the chief executives of Walmart and Target privately warned Trump this week that his sweeping tariff policy could disrupt supply chains and lead to empty shelves in the upcoming weeks. Sources familiar with the White House meeting told CBS, you see? And that's just what it is, man. Now let's play this real quick. And this from Epic Economist.
CEOs from Walmart, Target, Home Depot, and Lowe's sent a very blunt message to the president during a meeting in the Oval Office.
This is a warning. If you're gonna need anything made in China, I would buy it now, while you still can. Many companies have already decided it no longer makes any economic sense to import Chinese-made products into the United States because tariff rates are so high. As a result, there are certain things that will soon be no longer available to U.S. consumers. Now, when I posted video warnings about empty shelves in the months ahead, some people thought that I was exaggerating. But of course, the truth is that I was not exaggerating at all. On Tuesday, the CEOs of Walmart, Target, Home Depot, and Lowe's specifically warned President Trump that store shelves all over the country could soon be empty during a meeting at the White House.
So what's the message that got through to the president?
Well, it's very interesting. We've all noticed the president's change in tone over the last day or so. I'm told it's the result of a meeting in the Oval Office on Wednesday with those CEOs who are talking specifically about the warning for the supply chain disruption. And they said that the store shelves in some of the America's biggest stores could be empty in the coming weeks.
Those CEOs are not bluffing. Our biggest retailers normally import massive amounts of goods from China, and there's no easy short-term way to replace that production. According to Axios, the CEOs flat out told him the prices aren't going up. They're steady right now, but they will go up. They also told President Trump that shelves will be empty if current tariff levels persist. I'm so glad that President Trump is getting input from these CEOs. That is very important. Doug McMillon, the CEO of Walmart, who's developed a cordial relationship with Trump through meetings at Mar-a-Lago and several mutual friends, bluntly told Trump that the trade war with China had already started to disrupt the supply chain, officials said, and would only intensify by summer. What makes this meeting even more significant is that Walmart and Target are two of the biggest corporate donors to Trump's inauguration, with Target alone contributing $1 million. Despite their financial support and close access, their warnings were stark and urgent, highlighting that even well-connected business can no longer operate normally under these new economic pressures. We should never have become so dependent on imports from China. I have been ranting about this for years. Now we find ourselves in a situation where our economy literally cannot function properly without Chinese-made goods. According to Zero Hedge, scheduled import volumes at the Port of Los Angeles are beginning to plummet dramatically. And I mean dramatically. The Trump administration is likely monitoring sliding scheduled import volumes at the Port of Los Angeles, the largest container port in the Western Hemisphere, amid President Trump's overnight remarks hinting at a potential de-escalation in the trade war with China. The president's comments to ease trade tensions with Beijing come as scheduled import volumes at the LA port indicate possible inbound trade disruptions on the horizon. According to Port Optimizer,
Yeah, so that's pretty much the point on that, But this is exactly what we've been warning about through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah for the longest. This is Ezekiel 33, in verse 33, it says, "And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them." You see? So as you average Americans are, going about your day-to-day like everything is just business as usual, everything gonna be all right, everything is normal, nothing to see here, nothing to be concerned about, Well, while you have that carnal mindset, you're not paying attention, you're not measuring the times diligently, the Lord is manifesting prophecy in our face. And this is going to affect all of you people, And this is going to affect us as well. But the difference between us and you people is you don't have any hope, You have no hope. Let me see if I can. We'll just start at the top. It's 1 Thessalonians 5:1. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah so cometh as a thief in the night." And this is how the Lord is going to visit this place, like a thief in the night. But guess what? The Lord's not going to visit us as a thief in the night. Why? Because we're watching. We're measuring the times diligently. The Lord constantly has the Spirit upon us to be occupied in prophecy. So if we're constantly occupied in prophecy and measuring these prophecies to see where we at, the Lord's not going to catch us off guard, you see, because we're watching. That's the whole point. It says, but you people outside this council, you're not watching. You don't know what's going on. You just look at it and then you brush it off. You be like, you know what? So things are gonna get back to normal. It's nothing to worry about. But having that mindset is gonna get you destroyed. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety," see? So you people are saying peace and safety when you have that mindset. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You see? So the destruction is going to catch you people off guard. These calamities are going to catch you people off guard. And when these things come upon you, it's going to come upon you on every side. You're not going to be able to sidestep the hell that you're going to be in. You're not going to have no way of getting around the condition that you people are going to be reduced to. You see? You people are going to be brought to a lower state, and you're not going to have nothing to get you out of that lower state. But those of us that are in the council of Yahweh Shema Shai, those of us that have been, embraced to this report ahead of time, the Lord has allowed us to prepare, build up our faith. So when this famine is here, the Lord has already trained us, or is already in the process of training us to what? Trust in him. You see? Let's prove that. It's Proverbs 22 and verse 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go. Are we not the sons and daughters of Yahweh Shema Shai? We are. So the Lord is training us up in the way that we should go. So the way that we should follow, or the way that we should go, is the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. But the Lord is training us from the first time we've been brought in this truth all the way up until today, in this very moment. We're being trained. That's the whole point. I forgot who I was talking to the other day. I was talking to some Jake, and he was basically talking about how he was talking to a old cat, and how the conversation that they had was, he said, the difference between me and you is I've been trained to think like this. You're just now thinking like this, or something to that effect. But what stuck out the most to me was the fact that he mentioned that the old cat said that he was trained to think the way that he think. And it was spiritual, because the same thing applies with Yahweh Shema Shai. From the first day we were brought into this truth, the Lord told us to not be conformed to the ways of this world, but what? Be transformed by the renewing of our minds. So the Lord has, renewed a new way of thinking within us, which is to think like Yahweh Shema Shai, to have the mind of our Lord Yahweh Shai. You see? But the point is that we're being trained to think spiritual, That's why it says train up a child in the way that he should go, and what's the benefit of it. And when he is old, because we're waxing old in our works, he will not depart from it, because we've been trained from a youngin' all the way up to our full age to think spiritual, to trust in Yahweh Shema Shai, to not be carnal, to put off the ways of this world. Let this shit go, and that's going to be a benefit for us in the times that we're in. Because while all these people are going to go down to Egypt for help, they're going to trust in GMO foods to sustain them, They're not going to have the patience. They're not going to have the spirit to endure the things that come upon them. They're not going to know why they're catching the hell. We're being trained to know why we go through certain things the Lord brings us through. Or the certain situations the Lord puts us through. We're being trained up. So when it's live action, we've already, been in the process of practicing. So now we're just going to fully embrace it, as we're fully embracing it now, but it's just going to flow, so to speak. You know? We're going to be like that. Matter of fact, let's get that. This Psalms 1 in verse, I'm going to just start at 1. It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. So we'll be considered as the blessed because we're not walking in the counsel of the ungodly. We're not walking the ways of Esau, Edom. See, that's the difference between us and everybody outside this council. Everybody, like you heard old epic economist, you know, he sound like a damn Trump supporter, you know? Even though he brings out certain information, you know, concerning the different calamities that's gonna befall this place, somewhere in his spirit, he still trusts in America some type of way. And he still walks in the counsel of the ungodly some type of way. It says, but his delight is in the law of Yahweh Shema Shai, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. You see, so we are considered that tree that's planted by those rivers of living water, man. And the fact, going back to the point that I made of us being built up, you know, to our full age, so to speak, that's when that fruit is going to be made manifest in the time of Jacob's trouble. Because the Lord has us, you know, building off Yahweh Shai. That's our foundation. That's why, you know, when the calamities come, our house is going to stand because it's built off a solid foundation, which is Yahweh Shai, that rock. But as for all these people outside this council, they're going to be taken. Why? Because their foundations are not going to hold up. Because it's built off sand and ultimately it's built off carnality. They don't have nothing. You know, else to look forward to. They have no hope. They have no help. You know? But let's go here. Going back in that first Thessalonians 5, in verse 4 says, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. So we're not of the darkness. You see? The Lord has exposed us to his plans that he has in store for, you know, his elect concerning that salvation, as well as the destruction of America and the sufferings that you people are going to have to endure when the Lord ultimately, you know, fully opens judgment up on this place. It says, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. For Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, have not appointed us to wrath. So the Lord hasn't appointed us to wrath. The Lord is blessing us to put on our armor now. Put on that breastplate of faith now. The Lord said, above all, take the shield of faith. We got faith. We got something these people ain't got. That's that gift that's been freely given to us by Yahweh Shema Shai. Nothing that we did, but it's just a blessing to have it. And that's going to be the only thing that's going to get you out of these different situations. It's going to be faith. It's not going to be nothing carnal. It don't matter how much money you got, what your status is. These things aren't going to profit you in the day of wrath. That's what puts us in a privileged position. It says, who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we shall live together with him. Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do. So we're edifying one another. We're building each other up. We're building up each other's spirits. Iron is sharpening iron. So when the lights go out, when the food dry up, when all these different plagues and calamities that the Lord already decreed from the foundations of the earth begin to fully manifest themselves and to fully come to pass, we're going to be comforted. Just like we're comforted now, how much more in that time? We're going to be protected, man. But Lord willing, that was edifying. I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men who taught me this truth. Peace and blessings be to the hopeful elect, you men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.